Yellow, and welcome back to Rift Rivals Day 2. The 5v5s have concluded, but there's still the matter of who is the best in the West. The bot lane gauntlet is formatted with each region being divided into 2 brackets. And gents, it's going to be a fun one. EU versus EU action. To kick it all off, as NA's teams will face off against one another until one team's duo is left standing, with the teams from EU doing the same.
I like how they have set this up. First, we'll determine what the best bottom lane in each region is before finally coming together to decide best in the West.
Oh yeah, and we're going to be sticking with the same rules that we have had so far throughout the 2 versus 2s. You start at level 1, you win by destroying first tower, getting 100 CS, or getting 2 kills. And you can use recall while also being able to heal at the fountain. Outside of that, it's a no-hold bars. Let's get some action.
Should be certainly a lot of fun, and soon we will have the Commissioner Greeley and Rift Rivals chaplain Romain bringing out the best in the West belts.
Yeah, before then though, chatting a little bit. There they go! The belts are ready! Pretty badass if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, they look real good.
Cool.
I mean, again, all about the bragging rights here. Who doesn't want to be called the best in the West bot lane?
I have also been informed the winning team gets to keep those forever. They're dated. This is 2018. And you'll never have to give them up.
But you guys can't keep them. Romain, put it down. Romain, it's not yours. Put it down.
All right, let's check out the lineups over here. Game 1 is on the EU side of the bracket. Kicking things off for G2, it's Hjarnan and Wadid.
Oof, the powerhouse bot lane of Europe. Currently sitting in a 6-0 record on the European LCS without playing a single AD carry. They're trying to prove that AD carries are weak and it's the future of the majors.
And for Splice here, it's Kobbe and kaSing. In maybe a struggling tournament for them, but can still pull out some fun
They won
stuff.
their last 2 versus 2. They have some creative strats planned, and I was talking to Kobbe this morning. He was like, you know what? I still think we can win. We can still do Europe proud, and even if we struggle in groups, we can make up for it here.
Yeah, I'm 100% rooting for Kobbe, my namesake. He's really done me proud in the marksman role. And I asked him if he was going to dumpster this dirty Heimer player. They said it's going to be banned, for sure. So a little insight into the pick and ban phase. Surprising, they may target Hjarnan.
Well, see exactly what we have here, but first ban is Zillion there for G2.
What a prediction!
Whoa! With the Heimerdinger. Didn't even make you wait for it.
Zillion being thrown towards kaSing. He does love that champion. He played it a lot last split.
Yeah, I also really like how this, even though this is best bottom lane in the West, the goals of this are so different from your goals on Summoner's Rift. And all of these players, everyone that I've talked to is like, yes, we're going for the 2v2 kills, 100%. There's no junglers, so it's all about what type of, kill lane can you try and get.
Bwipo and Hylissang are currently the most active bot lane duo in Europe. They love to go for kills, so in theory, this should be their pride and joy. But we do know that there have been a couple of unique strategies that have come out all across the board, and G2 feels like they already have a plan in mind.
Oh, baby. No hesitation here. Now, we've seen Taliyah already, in Summoner's Rift on competitive games be very effective with anything with a stun to set up the seismic shove. Brand can do that, but his isn't the most reliable first stun to set things up. Usually he wants a targeted one to set him up as well. So interesting, who's going to be able to land the first bit of CC here?
But I'm pretty sure that so far in the 2v2s, Taliyah actually has a 100% loss rate because it's really hard to make use of the workaround that takes up so much space. Also, there are like a lot of minions in ARAM, and you can just hide behind them for a really long time to mitigate a lot of her damage. So while I love the brand, I'm still not entirely sold on the Taliyah just yet.
And if Splice do lock in this combo, I think it's a bit better as far as the setup we talked about. Syndra stun, very quick in comparison to Taliyah's seismic shove, so she can actually set up the brand here and kaSing to be able to follow up on that one and look for the chain kills. Plus, they do have a bit better pushing. The Taliyah you mentioned having 0% win rate in 2v2 so far. Some of the nerfs for this patch, 8.13 with the micro patch, were to lengthening the cooldown on the early levels of her threaded volley.
Well, I saw Hjarnan's reaction when the champions were revealed. Brand battles there between him and kaSing, but Taliyah versus Syndra kind of the difference maker there. But it has been fun so far. Again, side selection 2v2s have been nice to watch, but they don't necessarily have the same weight as what we will now witness.
Yeah, this is a battle for a title, Pastry.
And
you
get a
belt. Yeah, you get a belt, you get a title, you get to walk away from this tournament feeling proud of, if nothing else, even if your region loses, you can walk away as the champions of something. For too long, Sven and Mithy were called best in the West, Doublelift and Ole, nah, this is the title, this is your opportunity to finally prove it and claim yourself as the best in the West bot lane.
Well, teams and players are lining up. You can see there on your screen the belts that are on the line, but you must unfortunately slay some of your fellow regional brethren as the teams will move out onto the Howling Abyss. This is going to be fun. I hope you boys are ready to track a lot of brand cooldowns.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Already we do see some difference in the strategy here. Double Airy for Splice. They just want to get as many short trades off, tag someone with an ability to get Airy over there for some damage, whereas the Comet and Electrocute for G2, again, they're relying so much more on the skill of being able to land these skill shots as well as slow someone down to try and get the confirmation on the extra damage. And it seems like it will be a little bit more difficult, but there we go. First damage dealt.
Kobbe 2 for 2 so far on Dark Spheres, but Hjarnan answering back as you can see kind of the idea behind Taliyah level 1 very early when all your ground isn't worked or overworked. You can do a lot of damage early on.
Right now it is G2's bot lane. They get priority on the wave. That means that they're looking to get that early level 2. Try and get the level advantage, then force a couple of plays. I do believe Hjarnan started with the W on the brand, whereas kaSing started off with the Q. So both of them will likely be setting up for the stun once they hit that level 2 mark, and then the same will be done for the Syndra. And that's the thing that G2 have to be really careful of, as you were talking about earlier, Kobbe. The setup is just so strong from the Syndra brand duo.
Yeah, Syndra still yet to put a point in the W for the slow. He's got Q early on for CSing here with the low cooldown, because they don't want to fall too far behind in CS early on, as G2 are pushing into the turret.
Yeah, looking good so far, but there's level 2 dinged on both sides now.
Going to give them a little bit more options. She does go for the stun second here for Kobbe. So, again, that setup where you get the Syndra stun into the brand chain is a possibility. Also remember, as they're CSing under the turret, they do different amounts of damage to minions here than they do on Summoner's Rift, so it is definitely much more difficult. Until you get used to it, and then they're like, oh, it only takes me one shot on the...
The other thing that's different as well is that cannon minions...
Oh! We already got the first CC, ignite down Hjarnan. Get topped by Airy, but actually not enough to get a kill there. That's a big miss for Splice.
Yeah, that's a lot of summoner spells used as well. Flash traded for 2 flashes on the side of Splice. Means that kill pressure going to be heavily mitigated, and G2, they could look to punish this as the laning phase progresses, but Splice now heading to level 3, they can go back to base by some items.
Yeah, and we did see early boots pick up here from Hjarnan after he escaped with his life. That will help you dodge some of the skill shots, but again, Syndra stun comes out so quick, even with the boots pickup, that same thing could be what they're going for next time, and Hjarnan won't have the flash for number 2.
Also see that Kobbe has made that back, like you were mentioning, Vedius. These decent canning waves can make it quite different on when those timings are, but kaSing has not gone back yet, although that's cute. Some biscuits just got delivered to the Splice duo, so gonna have a bit more sustain here.
Yeah, we don't have full information on all the minor runes that they have chosen, but the biscuit delivery should be seen quite a lot in this tournament, especially since they're trying to get all the sustain for the lane dominance and not give up experience with their recalls. Also the purchase here, you can see Syndra going for just more combat power with the Doran's Ring, rather than the move speed that we saw on G2's side.
Everyone again just kind of hanging back. Indeed, looking pretty strong there at level 4 now, but once again, teams are just kind of happy to trade farm for now. G2, in that respect, are ahead by a few.
Tension begins to mount between the 2 European squads. And that is a stun that lands, but no follow-up.
Okay.
Just a couple of blows being traded back and forth.
Yeah, so
waiting for those summoners to come back up.
Individual good shots there from G2. While we keep mentioning how Splice can set each other up, G2 just straight land theirs outright, so a little bit of harassment there. And they are ahead on minions right now. Even though we believe both teams are looking for the kills, the minions are going to be important to track.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you're getting close to that point, you'll probably just take that win.
A lot of the times, they look for kills in the beginning, and if it gets to the point where they're closing in on 100, then it's just the pressure of this team has to be the ones to force the fight, or else they do lose out on default by the 100 CS rule.
Does seem like, again, teams are kind of taking their backs. G2 again have stocked back up, boots on both now, plus double Dorans. Feeling pretty healthy, especially with that CS lead. We actually might get a 2v2 finally in the tournament where we actually see some level 6s as well, which we have not seen yet. Obviously, Brand and Syndra have a bit of an advantage there.
Oh, they certainly do. Wadid, though, could use his ultimate to perhaps separate off the two, perhaps kind of set up a sneaky play like that. You can also go back to base and use it to get back to lane super quickly. Note that kaSing actually hasn't spent any of his gold yet, so that G2 do have an item advantage, which they could look to try and leverage.
He's gonna go back. Probably now's the best time.
Oh.
Kobbe though does get caught, pops the barrier, but low on mana, burning down.
Oh, he's
from the
done.
brand passive, and he gets first blooded, but Hjarnan still gonna take some. It's not enough to kill him again.
Close, but doesn't count unless you finish it off. Even the Airy, not enough. And it is G2 ahead in minions and ahead in kills now.
Also getting ahead in turret damage. Remember, that's the other way you can win the 2v2. But kaSing finally gets his back in boots and a second door for himself. Kobbe does have an amp tome and a few more potions, so maybe gonna feel a bit more healthy, but this is where it gets tricky because you're down in minions, your turret's taking damage, and you can no longer afford to make a mistake where one of you gets killed because you instantly lose the game from that point.
Big thing that is a pro for Splice, though, because of the Syndra pick instead of Taliyah at level 6, you gain very, very explosive power with the Syndra ult, and that could be a possibility to try and collect 2 kills at once. You do an ult early, get the balls on the ground, then you go for the stun and try and get both of them at once with the same stun.
See how much Hjarnan can get here. Actually does need to pick up a lot of these minions to kind of keep that condition alive. Wadid also went back to base. Someone has a refillable, so apparently thinking that's going to go a little longer than they might expect, but Wadid did hold on to his ultimate for what it's worth.
Level 6s have now been reached all across the board. Summoner spell still on cooldown, and a stun doesn't quite land from the side of Kobbe. G2 kind of in a better position, given that they do have the heal available on Wadid, but then there is the ignite as well on kaSing. I always question whether or not that's a good idea on champions like Brand and Syndra, because usually in solo queue you can never actually get in range to use your ignite. Usually you don't want to be that close, but here's the cutoff.
So he actually did take the wall. I was thinking he might forego taking the wall and just put another point in a basic ability there for some extra damage. Sometimes you can use the wall creatively if you're closing in on the 100 CS or tower damage, but not right there.
It does feel like teams are waiting for summoners to come back up. Hjarnan's ignite still on cooldown. Kobbe's barrier not too far away. G2 recognizing that they probably have to get a base in if they can afford it. Wadid does go back. He's very quick back to the lane. And again, I think at this point, G2 might actually be settling in to farm it out.
Yeah, so Splice should actually let the wave push right now because there's a cannon going against non-cannon, which means that they can close that CS gap just a little bit. And then once the cannon spawns on their end, that's when they need to look to start being super aggressive, try and force summon a spell, try and sacrifice loads of farm to the turret if they want to try and close this gap between them that is pretty significant at this point in the game.
Also might find a good opening for that all-in that we're really expecting from Brand Syndra. But I think, again, Kobbe still a few more seconds left on barrier. Then we might see something started. Hjarnan will not have ignite for 10-15 seconds, it feels like.
I'm excited, though, with all the flashes back up. I mean, whoever gets killed first is probably going to be due to flashing over the stun or being hit by the stun. That's the big difference.
Yeah, there's a hit on Hjarnan, but he does flash away. Ult out from Kobbe, but now he's actually forced to run away. Pyroclasm bouncing back and forth. He's going to take his relic and be okay. It's 2 low mages, but no one dead.
Oof, all ultimates have been used here, so no surprises left. And still, G2 hold the CS lead, and they haven't lost a member.
Depending on how this goes, but he's going to have to last hit very well from this spot to keep that lead. He actually gets stunned, might get picked off here. Not enough.
That's a lot of farm, though. Like, G2 are not that far from the 100
We're
CS
getting
right
close.
now.
All right, so I think at this point, Splice going back. Oh my God, Kobbe has a needlessly large run that he did. All right, so I think the plan's pretty clear now for Splice. You probably aren't going to get the turret. You probably can't catch up in 10 CS time. It's time for a really desperate all-in.
All right, there's 6 right here. Hjarnan actually misses 1.
Next wave. They have to do it next wave, otherwise the game is over, 100%.
All right, definitely a telegraphed all-in, but can they do anything about it? No ultimates are available for either side. Seems like this is going to be very tough for Splice to work their way out of it.
Gonna have to start going basically as soon as that wave starts showing, though. So again, you can see Splice, they're trying to bide their time.
There's a cannon minion wave as well. Oh, there's the stun.
I mean, Syndra doing a lot of damage. Good stun. This might be one kill. They need at least the first one. But the stun lands in. Kobbe's in tower range. He pops the barrier.
5 CS is the count currently, too.
Wadid just has to wait for the wave to hit the tower.
Well, they could try and pressure him off, but he's going for it. There's 2.
Yep, only needs 3 more. Now the stun does land, but I mean, Kobbe can't go under the turret. kaSing trying to keep him off. Wadid, he needs to find a couple of minions to snipe.
His worked ground is all around the turret
Wait, but
already.
look at the farm for Splice. Look at the farm for Splice.
Oh, it's 6 away. They don't have enough. They need to wait for the wave. How patient can they be? They're trying to keep them off the wave. 3 away.
Oh,
back.
Oh no, if someone dies, I think kaSing is so far forward. Hjarnan, he gets the kill. Incredibly tense.
I like the positioning. They knew they had no time to work with, trying to force out the last few, but G2 in the end get the extra kill.
Damn, that was close. You know, you can see that Splice were kind of forced into this corner where they had to just zone them away from the farm. And unfortunately, yeah, especially given that they had already lost 1 kill earlier on, it was definitely an uphill struggle for Splice. And many of the all-ins they tried didn't quite work out.
Yeah, this was where it really got intense too. Once you start to count the CS, only a few more coming on the minion wave, but Hjarnan is on the way back, and the savior for G2 arrives.
And it's all easy from there. Pyroclasm, and that's basically
Yeah.
just it.
Outskilled.